Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again from Drone Valley. Well, it's a beautiful day here in West Virginia, and I've actually snuck away for a nice long weekend with my wife to relax and enjoy the countryside. And of course, I've got a ton of drones with me that I'm going to put up over the next couple of days and capture some pretty amazing footage. But I wanted to take a minute and update you on some of the new technologies that have sort of been announced and things we're working on for review here on the channel, just to keep you up to date. And I'd like to start with the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro, because that seems to be the drone of choice right now for a lot of people. They're curious about it, they're interested in it, and there's a lot of aggression out there about that particular drone and the company in general. And I thought, you know, I got to investigate this. If people are upset about it, I want to find out if it can actually do what the company claims it can do. So I bought one, again, full retail. I don't get paid anything from Hubsan, but I thought, let me take it out and try and answer all the questions you've sent us about that particular drone. So I'm starting to put a series together that addresses each of the questions individually. And the first clip we did was around the question of how long can that quad fly? Because a lot of people didn't believe it could do 40 minutes of flight time on a single battery charge. And the test I did was a hover test, because that way I at least had consistency in draining of the battery. And it hovered for about 32 minutes, which I think is pretty amazing. And to me, hovering is going to be shorter than flying, because when you're flying, the air actually adds some lift to the drone, and you can fly longer than you can actually hover. So 32 minutes of hover time, 36, 37 minutes of flight time, maybe a little bit longer depending on how heavy the wind is. And maybe I'll do that test as well to show you how long it can actually fly. The second test we did was around the question of how hot the quad got when it was flying, because a lot of people felt like it gets so hot you can't fly it, it'll actually fall out of the sky. And I'm getting a lot of grief for that, because I'm kind of picking on those statements a little bit, because I don't think the people that are complaining about that necessarily have the quad and are flying the quad. I think they're reacting to other people's impressions of the quad. And to be fair, I've said from the beginning that it's really Hubsan's first foray into what I'll consider the semi-professional drone space, that sub 250 gram space, where they're really taking a crack at that space. And it's Gen 1 for them in that space. So I'd give them a little bit of time to get better with their core technology. But having said that, everything I've tested so far, the flight time, the temperature, some other things I've tested, are pretty close to the specs they give us. And around the heat thing, it does get warmer than other quads, there's no doubt about that, but you have to remember they've taken a sub 250 gram chassis and packed a whole lot more technology in there, with higher bit rates for the video feeds back, for the obstacle avoidance, for the tracking information. So I think their engineers have been smart to turn off the FPV view before it takes off, because that drinks a lot of electrons and heats it up, and to turn off obstacle avoidance if you get too hot with the CPU. But anyway, the long and short of it is the flight test was good, the temperature test was good. Now I've got a few more that we're working on around how to do the firmware updates, how to do obstacle avoidance calibrations, and a few other cool things about the quad, explaining some of the features. So if you're interested in that quad, stay tuned. But again, don't shoot the messenger. All I'm doing is trying to take a scientific approach to answering the questions of, can the quad do what they say it can do? And if it can, I'm going to be honest about that, like I am with everything else. All right, so let me move on to Autel. So there's been some exciting announcements from Autel recently. They haven't actually shipped the drones yet. They're not on sale yet, but they have announced two drones. They've announced the Nano, which is their sub 250 gram drone. Everybody's getting into that category, so I think it's cool that Autel's there. They've got some impressive features on that drone as listed. They've got obstacle avoidance, they've got long flight times, they've got a couple other cool features that I think are going to really make that a contender. And what's interesting to me is that they announced it, but it's not on sale yet. So we'll have to see how soon that goes on sale. My relationship with Autel over the years has been on and off, and I don't know why, but there are years where I get a lot of products earlier into NDA and I test them and fly them and put clips up. This time I had contacts, and then they kind of went dark on me, so I don't know where it's going. But at this point, I have no advanced product on that. All I can do is speculate on what it's going to do. I will promise you that if I can't get one under NDA, I'll certainly buy one. We'll bring it in, we'll test it like crazy, just to give you all the details you need. Now, they also talked about their higher end drones. So they get the Evo 2 Lite, which is coming out, which I guess is a scaled down version of the Evo 2, but it's got some cool features on it that I think are really interesting. Now, the price points of both the Nano and the Evo 2 Lite are pretty high compared to other drones in that category. So I'm going to be really critical about how does that Nano compare to the Mini 2, or whatever DJI's got coming next, and how does that Evo 2 Lite compared to the Air 2S, which is one of the drones that I love right now. I think it's hands down the best value in drones flying today. So I'll take a hard look at that and we'll see where that goes. The next one I want to talk about is X.Dynamics, and that's a name that should ring a bell. They had an Evolve product out a couple of years ago. I flew it, I liked it. A lot of people flew it, and they really pounded on the company around the propellers attaching or not attaching, and all kinds of issues with its flight distance and a few other things that they were nitpicking on. For me, I tend to be fairly benevolent with companies. I tend to look at the good stuff and try to figure out if they're a competitor in the space, they're making some big moves that are different than other people. That's a good thing. Let me encourage that. I have an announcement, well, not an announcement, but I wanted to let you know that we got contacted by XDynamics again, because we work with them on the Evolve, and they're sending us an early advanced unit of the Evolve 2, which is their brand new chassis that they're going to be releasing very soon. You can go to their website and you can check it out. I think it goes on sale in a couple of months, but we'll have an NDA version of that, and I can't really talk about it until I do the testing and they allow me to talk about it, but we're going to do some extensive testing on that. Now, what makes that a cool drone is it's a fixed airframe, just like the old Phantom products used to be, and a lot of people think, well, why do I want a fixed airframe? Well, it's carbon fiber for one, so it's light and it's really durable, but more importantly, you can put really nice camera packages on there, and at the end of the day, you're flying a drone to take pictures, so having better cameras is a good thing. So I'll review that and I'll give you some details on that. Now with DJI, they've gone kind of quiet, right? Everybody's speculating there's a DJI Mini 3 coming, there's a Mavic 3 coming. We've seen some leaks around the Mavic 3. There's a new action camera apparently coming. So a lot of that stuff is going to be interesting, but I can tell you, without breaking any rules here, that keep an eye on this space, because there's going to be a lot of reviews coming up in the future for all these products that I'm talking about today, not just DJI in particular if they ever release anything, but all the other companies as well. But I think it's an interesting time for drones, because it seems like there's separate categories that are sort of being developed, right? You've got the sub 250 gram drone, which is an ultra portable drone that was initially just cool to fly, has gotten a lot more sophisticated. So now you're getting 4K 30 frames a second. You're getting obstacle avoidance. You're getting waypointing on it. You're getting all the cool things that you normally get in a larger drone at a pretty decent price. Then you've got the middle category. Let's call it the Air 2S category, where it's better than the minis, but not quite as good as the commercial level drones like the old Inspires or the Mavic 2s. And that category is blowing up. So when you look at the 2S, you're getting a phenomenal drone there for the price that's a little larger than the mini drones, but it gives you a ton of features. And then there's the what I'll call commercial drones. And again, I'll start with the Mavic 2. If there's a Mavic 3 coming, whatever's there, maybe there's an Evolve 3 coming, an Evolve 2 coming, maybe there's going to be an Evo 3 coming. So I think that high end, specific for photographers that are doing it seriously, maybe commercial kind of photographers, will have that high-end drone. And I think it's really interesting that all these companies are developing products across that entire spectrum. So stay tuned to this space, because I'm telling you, I've been working like a madman. That's why I took this weekend off, to actually take a brain break from all the testing we've been doing and filming we've been doing. So I'll have a lot of updates very soon. And then in addition to that, we're testing a ton of other technology. We started testing portable power stations, which are really just gigantic batteries that you can take with you in the field that'll provide DC and AC if you're out camping like we are here, where you can fire up a light, or you can fire up a bunch of AC appliances on that thing, and you can actually plug in your phones and all your portable devices and charge them. So I've got a lot of technology coming there. One in particular we're really proud to be working with is EcoFlow. They're a company that builds, I think, some of the smartest products on the market today in that space, and they've got small, medium, large, and there's a new category coming that's ultra large, almost to power a whole home generator, and we'll be testing all those products in the channel as well. And I probably have 6 or 7 other manufacturers that we're working with in that space, and I know it's not a drone product, but as I've said before, it's a technology channel that happens to do a lot of drone technology as well, because I think that's really cool. But I want to talk about all technology, because I feel like if you're a nerd like me and you're flying drones today, the other stuff we're talking about, whether it be portable power stations or some of the intelligent vacuum robots that are out today, or other cool technologies you can use to edit videos and capture footage, would be really interesting to you on the channel. So if we put up a clip and you're thinking, boy, I don't care about portable power generators, just don't watch the clip. I promise you there's going to be a ton of drone stuff coming. So pick the clips you like, just like when you're watching a channel on TV. If a program comes on you don't like, don't watch the program. Just don't unsubscribe from the channel. Obviously, there's other cool stuff going on there. So anyway, that's where we're at with that. I've also got a lot of other I've gotten a lot of feedback on these HDMI extenders and audio extractors and things you'll use at home to sort of extend your video experience in the home. We're working on some home automation equipment, whether it be cameras or automated systems you can put in your home that you can program. So we're going to kind of expand the channel to cover a lot more of that stuff. And again, I promise you, the overwhelming number of clips will be drones. So if you're into drones, we'll absolutely be doing a ton of stuff around that. And that was pretty much all I had for today. So I really appreciate all the viewership, and I got to get back inside because I can smell dinner from out here. I want to get in there and eat it. But I wanted to take a minute and just thank you again for the viewership and let you know that it's going to be a really exciting time these next couple of months. So you're definitely going to want to pay attention to the channel. Make sure you stop back soon. So until next time, happy flying.